What's going on, everybody? It's been a few days, I know. I'm still kicking, still Watachi, still running free. Uh, you guys, I hear about all these things that the Supreme Court is ruling on at this point, whether it be abortion, uh, the right to bear arms, whatever it might be. All I gotta ask, let's just go with the people that have been refused to be able to carry a gun for self defense, and we know New York, California, Illinois, a few other states that have been doing that for years. Uh, they now are claiming that are these states are using unconstitutional laws against the citizen, against we the people. It's great. It's great that the Supreme Court comes out and decides that these states are breaking what the Constitution says. And straightens these states out. What, where do the people that their rights that have been taken away from them for years, maybe their entire lives, because of these states that pass unconstitutional laws, that it takes going all the way to the Supreme Court to get judgment on, I guess. All the people that were refused their rights to bear arms to in self-defense, how many of those people were killed? How many of them died because they had no way to defend themselves against an attacker because a government official decided they couldn't do it legally? How many people died? How many people lost loved ones because they couldn't defend their family members, their wives, their children in a robbery or something, and maybe lost them all? How many people? While these governments were using laws that were unconstitutional. And according to the Constitution, if any local government passes a law that contradicts what the Constitution says, they are null and void. That's to keep people from their rights being illegally taken from them. Now, these people that today have justice because the Supreme Court stepped in and said they have the right to carry a weapon, if nothing else, for self-defense. They don't need any other reason other than that. How do these people that their rights have been removed from them for so long, maybe their entire lives, since they've been old enough to be able to handle guns, carry guns, whatever, shoot guns, they haven't been allowed to because of their age or because of whatever reasons the government came up with? Local governments. How do they get that back? Where's their remedy? That's what the courts call it. Where's their remedy for what has been taken from them? Their rights had been taken from them, and it was done under the color of law. And if you don't know what under the color of law means, it means that these people that hold this authority up that are called enforcers of the law or defenders of the law or oath takers or whatever, these guys have authority by law to defend the law. Well, if they weren't defending a law that was that wasn't already voided, that because it went against the Constitution, then if they weren't defending an illegal law, that they are the law. They should know the law. That way they don't break the law themselves. If they're telling you you can't have a gun unless you have a freaking license because the local government says so. When the Constitution says you have the right to bear arms and shall not be infringed, according to the Constitution, according to the law of the land, that local law cannot stand because it goes against what the Constitution, the federal Constitution of the United States says. Therefore, it cannot stand. If it stands and they enforce it and prosecute people on it, then they're violating people's rights under the color of law. Even though it's illegal, they're doing it because they have the authority to do so. People, I want you to know something. The Constitution has an article in it for a reason. And it's Article 18, U.S. Code 241 and 242. Now, these two, I'm going to tell you what they are, but they are so severe, severe when they happen, that the punishments to the people who have done it is life imprisonment. And if there's somebody who has done this and it has resulted in a death, the people who have done this can receive the death penalty for doing these one or both of these things. They can receive the death penalty. That's how severe Article 18, U.S. Code 241 and 242 are. And that's why it's in the Constitution. These people did not trust each other when they wrote it. That's why they wrote it the way they wrote it. Now, Article 18, U.S. Code 241 is conspiracy to violate somebody's rights under the color of law. If you don't know what that means, that would be like these two cops. They pull a guy over because they don't like him. They went to high school with him. They don't like him. He was a pothead or something. They pull him over. They can't find nothing on him. So they decide, they stand over here. They start talking about, hey man, what can we hem him up on? Busted tail light or something. We got to write him some kind of a ticket. We're going to, maybe, hey, we could plant some weed in his vehicle and we could bust him on some weed. Well, while they're standing over there talking about that, they're conspiring to violate somebody's rights. And they're going to use the law to do so. They'll plant evidence. Or they're going to lie on a police report. Just to get you screwed up. This is one of the laws that was put in place to keep cops and sheriffs and shit like courthouses and shit from doing this very thing, folks. Because if they are busted just for conspiring, say they talked about it and it was caught on video, but they didn't go through with it. They just come back over and say, oh, well, you're free to go. Get on out of here. And they let him go. Well, they was talking about doing it. What could we pin on this guy? I don't like him. I want to pin him something on him. Maybe plant some dope on him or something, man. Get him good. They're just talking about it. That's conspiring. A lot of cops, they talk about it and then carry it out. That's Article 18 U.S. Code 242, the actual act of doing so. So 241 is conspiring to violate somebody's rights, using the law to do so. 242 is the ones when they actually do it. So if somebody does this to you, they've committed 2 federal crimes. They conspired to do so, and then they carried it out. Both charges comes with life imprisonment. And let's say you decide, the person in the car, you're like, man, this is bullshit. I ain't putting up with this shit, so you're getting ready to put your car and drive and pull off. And the cop draws his gun and he says, don't fucking move. And he shoots you and you die. They come up with some story, you had a gun, whatever. Fact of the story is, they were violating your rights under the color of law in the first place, just to fuck with you. And now somebody's died. Whoever pulled that trigger, maybe even both, any officers on scene, could also get the death penalty for that happening. That's how severe Article 18 U.S. Code 241 and 242 are. That is one of the articles that you hold your police, you hold your sheriffs, you hold your judges, you hold your everybody that's involved with the law. That's how you hold their feet to the fire. Because if a cop looks at you and says, I don't have to have a reason to pull you over. I don't have to have a reason to ID you. If I asked you for ID, you'll give me ID or I'll take you to jail. Well, if that ain't the law and he does it, then he's violated your rights under the color of law. Now, they claim qualified immunity covers them on that. It does not. If they violate your rights and use the law, even though they don't know what the law is, they are the law at that point. They have the arrest authority, take you to jail authority. They are the law at that point. If they make the wrong decision and violate your rights, qualified immunity isn't going to cover that. Now, they'll fight you like hell. That police department's got a union. That sheriff's department's got a union that they'll fight you like hell. So you're going to have a good lawyer and plenty of money to fight it. But yes, you can. Under Article 18 U.S. Code 241, 242. And people, I'm telling you what, in the last 3 years, everybody in government positions have violated that right on everybody. And they've allowed corporations and businesses to do it as well. And those businesses and corporations, restaurants and shit, they did it claiming, oh no, you can't be in here. It's a law. You can't be in here without a mask on. That ain't the law. That wasn't the law. That was not the law. So all them people that threw me out, had me arrested, had me trespassed, they all violated my rights, claiming it under the law. Well, that's a violation, and that's what I went around here and told the police department and the sheriff's department, that they were allowing my rights to be violated under the color of law, And none of them were fucking back, gonna help me. People, you can't claim to have the law of the land being the Constitution of the United States of America, and then they get to pick and choose what parts of it they want to go by. The Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. If there's an age limit on it, it's infringed. If there's a common gun law on it, it's infringed. The only thing that should be keep you from buying any arms is the amount of what it costs, not what the government says it should cost you. Just say no. Say, we're not going along with your bullshit anymore. No. Don't run down here and vote for Donald Trump. Because I'm telling you what, you people that do that, if I live long enough, I am going to rub that in your face for the next 10 years, what he does to you next. Because he's the one that started this whole 3 years ago thing. He started it all. And if you people still think he's going to come back and save you when he started it, all of it, and you think he's not a part of it, I'm going to wear you people out like an old pair of shoes. If you can't see they're all in on it, you never will. You'll be playing, well, the Republicans are the best. No, the Democrats are the best. No, the Republicans, well, I only vote, I go and vote for the lesser of two evils. I go and vote for the lesser of two evils. I voted for the lesser of two evils. I voted for the lesser of two evils. If you want to vote for somebody, vote for God. Because all this doesn't mean a thing. It's a joke. It's a show. It's a production. Everything you think of reality is nothing more than a game or an app that you're playing on your phone. But God loves you, really. He loves you way more than the Biden or Trump or Pelosi or AOC or Divine. He loves you more than all of them. And I love you as well. You guys have a good one out there. Just me pondering what's happening today. Have a good one.